सुबह के ध्यान सत्र में हार्दिक स्वागत है। चित्त सहस्रार पे रख के सामूहिक बंधन लेते हैं। ध्यान की शुरुआत 3 महामंत्र तत्पश्चात श्री गणेश मंत्र से करते हैं।
त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती
परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपावंत होकर आप हमारे सहस्रार पर विराजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारा आत्म साक्षात्कार दृढ़ कीजिए। श्री माता जी, हम सब अपना अहंकार और प्रति अहंकार आपके श्री चरणों पर समर्पित करते हैं। कृपावंत होकर आप हमें निर्विचारिता प्रदान कीजिए। इसी ध्यान की अवस्था में अमृतवाणी ग्रहण करते हैं।
So yesterday was a nice day for all of us, and I said something of a different level. We've been talking all the time about the mundane things, and these things sometimes are very, what's it? It's all right. Are of so much importance, we think. But when I talked to you yesterday, I hope you all realized that we have to now jump into another realm of a subtler understanding of Sahajayoga. First, we were worried about our families, our children, our households, then our marriages. One after another, all these questions came up. And we were concerned about all these things, little things. Then we also got concerned about the ashrams which we were running, the problems of the ashram, what we have been doing, how we have been facing the problems, how people are creating problems. That's how our humanity started, acquiring a subtler understanding. And then we also realized that we are blessed by God, that there's something great that is always looking after us, some higher force, some special attention is there about us. This is what we realized. Today I was explaining how it happens. That how we realize that God is helping us. Any problem is an effect of some sort of a cause. Every problem. Like Mona wrote a letter that she was driving in a motorway and the car went out of control and the brake would not act. And there was a car coming from the right, car coming from the left, cars going in front and behind. And she felt that they'll be finished. Two of them were traveling to surgeries. So the cause was the car or the brake or whatever it was, mechanism, and the effect was for the problem. So now how to overcome that problem? Supposing you try to neutralize the effect, you cannot because cause is still there. You try to improve the cause, it doesn't work out. Then what to do? So the easiest thing is to cross the cause, to ascend over, to go beyond the cause. So the cause does not exist for you, so the effect does not exist. As long as the cause exists in your attention, the effect will exist. So what did she do? She just prayed to me. Just thought of me that Mother, now it's my last chance. That's all. So the cause disappeared. Because you go beyond it. And the effect also disappeared and she was surprised. So you must ascend away from the cause. Now a problem. My wife is like this, my husband like this, my family life is this, surgeries are like this, all kinds of things are there. It's an effect. Now what's the cause? Is such and such person. Alright. Now how do you get negation of the cause? Surrender. You have the right to do that. You have a knack to do it. You can do it. You are capable of it. You are entitled to do it. So you don't need to forget. You just forget. If you surrender that cause, effects will go away. But that is the thing at that time to remember, that you have to ascend, to go beyond the cause is the best way to get rid. So, I've been playing with you. You had causes to say, oh Mother, this is the problem, I have no job, I have a job, and the job is to be had. The wife is not there, she must have a wife, and the wife has a problem, she's to be divorced, and that is that, and this is that. Then I'm like that, I'm very bad because there's a bhoot in me. So the bhoot is the cause. And I'm behaving like this because there's a bhoot in me. That's also a scapegoat, I think. So first you go beyond that, saying, what is bhoot? Who is bhoot? I know my mother. And Mother, you look after this bhoot of mine. That's all. But for that, an emergency has to come to you. Otherwise, you just don't do it with that power. When you are in emergent condition, then it works out fast. When it is not emergency, it is half-hearted, like Mona's condition. There was another case where a journalist was traveling from, I think, Lonavala or something, and his brakes broke down, and he was with another journalist. So both of them were coming. This another journalist told me. The another one was surgery. So he found his brakes are not working, and he found his car is going in front. There's a big truck coming up and another truck coming from behind. And there was no way for him to turn or to get out, and his brakes were on. That was an emergency. Such an emergency that developed into his mind that, oh God, now the last moment has come. Now I'm finished. There's a truck coming from there and another truck, and within a split of a second, he was to be finished. Then he just closed his eyes and he told his friend, think of mother. That's all. And then what he found, that he was nicely crawling on the road, and the trucks were left behind and the brake was good. But that emergency has to come. Human beings are such that unless and until they are put into tight corners, they never do that. Once they are in a tight corner, then they do. That is the reason why people try to take ascetic life. Because if you are an ascetic, then you are in a tight corner. They go to Gobi Desert to create that emergency beginning. So then you think of God. But that's too late to go to Gobi Desert. They create problems for them to get into tight corners so that they can get out. But for Sahajayogi, if they are wise, they need not have. But how do we achieve it otherwise, without getting tired? Only way is meditation. Everybody must meditate, is the point. If you do not meditate, you can continue for a while. You may be alright for a while, for 2, 3 months, maybe 2 years, but then you drop. Many people think, oh, what's the need to meditate? You see, it's alright. If you don't meditate, it doesn't matter. It's not. Because in meditation only you grow. In emergency, you suddenly grow, no doubt. I mean, you just like a jack in a box, just come up with a spring. But if you have to have a continuous growth, then you must meditate, allow the thought, after thoughts coming, and then allow them to subside, because you rise into the state of thoughtless awareness, and in that thoughtless awareness you grow. And you grow in your detachment to the cause of all the effects. If there is no cause, there is no effect. But this is the problem with us, is that we do not meditate normally. Only when it comes to absolute last point, now you have to fall in the well, then we think of it. Maybe at that moment you are helped, but you don't grow. Growth can only come if you meditate. That is one very important part, is complete help to people who meditate. Otherwise, in the normal life, how do we grow? If we have no oxygen, we cannot grow. We have to have sufficient oxygen, we have to have sufficient food, we have to have all these things. But in spirituality, you grow through meditation. There's no way out. Those who think they can grow are bumptious. Actually bumptious people. Because they can talk a lot about Sahajayoga. I've seen people who talk too much about Sahajayoga. They can give big lectures, this, that, but have no vibrations at all. They can't do any work for Sahajayoga. They are not collective, they have no sense to be collective. All kinds of problems. But the growth is to be achieved through meditation. That is one part. That is, we can say, is the worship, is the puja. Then you don't have to give up anything, you just become detached. Detached from the cause itself. That's one point. Secondly, that this I would say will take you to the subtler side of your emotional bindings. Because emotional binding has given you certain identification, you are a Christian or a Hindu or a Muslim or this and that, or a British or any kind of a race, whatever you have to call it. All those things will drop because you will be a detached person. So these emotional bindings is my brother, he is my sister, I'm worried about my wife, I'm worried about my child. All these emotional bindings which make you a smaller personality will drop out and you will have one emotional binding, is that I'm growing in my compassion. Compassion is active. My compassion is effective. My compassion is alive. My compassion gives me discretion. I'm a yogi. And secondly, you read about Sahajayoga, you know about Sahajayoga, you know the technique of Sahajayoga, you raise your kundalini, you clean your chakras, try to understand about mantras, you master your mantras, you master your deities, you please them. All these things when they are done properly, then your mental bindings will drop. Those who think they are great scientists, they will know that this is no science. The science of God's technique is much more. Those who think they are overread, well-read people when they read about Sahajayoga and work it out on themselves and see for themselves and on others, they will know that whatever they have read is all stupid, has no meaning, is empty. And that's a kind of an emptiness will come. Emptiness of ego. Because you see that knowledge is so great. Like Newton said that knowledge is like an ocean and I'm like a little child collecting some pebbles at its shore. What an understanding. So that emptiness comes in and then the real knowledge starts coming. The identification with real knowledge comes. When you talk, that talk has an effect. That's a mantra. You just don't jabber. Oh, I know Sahajayoga. I've been in Sahajayoga for 15 years. Good for nothing. You may be there for 100 years, but you may remain the donkey as donkey is. Absolutely. But you may remain there only for 1 year. And you may become from a donkey a human being and a yogi too. But that is what we have to, first of all, decondition ourselves by attaching ourselves emotionally to Mother. I mean, you have an advantage over many other yogis of the world who came for things that nothing to look for. They knew of a primordial Mother, they knew about this, but they had no form. You have a form. You are very fortunate and lucky people, you have a form. It's easy to adore a form than to adore something abstract in the air, you see. Absolute consciousness, how do you adore it? Very impressive. But that attachment doesn't mean in any way that you have to give me anything. What do you give me? Nothing. But detachment from the cause. And this works out. You have seen it in your lifetime. You also say that it works out for the Sahajayoga. What is bandhan? It's nothing. But you are attaching yourself to your mother. You just telephone to her. This is a telephone going to your mother. That's all. You know, I also play, I also say, I'm giving you bandhan. I'm giving bandhan to myself. It's a telephone call. Just a telephone call. But the faith has developed now that yes, this is the real faith, where you get completely detached in your emotional things. It's just my mother, alright, just give her a bandhan, finished. My father, give him a bandhan. My brother, give him a bandhan. What are you doing? Bandhan. What are you doing? You are putting them in the bonds of your mother. But you are not conscious that you are doing that. You are just binding them with the love of your mother, which is flowing through your life. What are these vibrations? It's your mother's love. You've got it. It is flowing through you. But what about your love for your mother? And that is what I find that at the time when there is complete emergency, that surrender comes. And it works. So, there's no need to create any emergencies. You must slow and steadily work it out. And it will build up by itself. You have that power, I assure. But meditation is one way, another is the knowledge of Sahajayoga. Not showing off, not telling others, but working it out on yourself. Different chakras, how they work out. On yourself, not on others. Once you start teaching others, it's a boot. You better learn it for yourself and within yourself. I know who has mastered which chakra, which. Nobody tell others this is the way to do it, that is absolute nonsensical ego. So such things should not be done. If somebody asks you, you can tell. Individual. But on a large scale, you do not give lectures on it. And don't confuse people. Now, so we have two things that we have to get over our emotional grossness and our mental grossness. Same with our physical grossness. Physical grossness can be overcome if you surrender yourself to one medicine is vibrations. Like Anupama, my grandchild, told her mother, you were born in allopathy, then you are falling homeopathy. Tomorrow you will find out some jumbopathy, then some numbopathy. So, but I am born in God. And I follow only God's path. And God will look after me and God will cure. So my daughter said, why? You may also change. He said, why? Because God never changes. Simple answer. God will cure. But you must have that much assent to say that. As you just jump out at the time of emergency. Same sort of an urge, that same sort of a personality should be within you to say that. Just if you say, oh God, please save me. God has no time for such. You have no time for God. God has no time for you. Simple thing. So from sublime to mundane things when we come, we exist in both the things and we are effective. Whether we are in the lamp or in the light or in the oil, we are at a certain point. And we give the effectiveness without being the cause. Because you are beyond the cause. So there is no need to create any cause for anything, but you see the effect. So that once the cause is finished, effect is achieved, and it achieved what is to be achieved. The correct result. The correct thing. You do not get perversity. But if you go with the cause, then you can have perversity, you can have all kinds of problems. So the best thing is to detach yourself from causes. And then you get the effect, like as I told you, that the brake got alright. The effect was there. The car was alright. Everything was fine. So the effect was alright. But the cause was lost. There was no cause. Why? How? How the thing was perfected? If you ask the effect of it, you say, how did it get? You can't explain. It didn't work out. So because the cause is missing, you cannot put it to any cause. You sometimes say it's divine, whether it worked out. So the only cause that is really effective is divinity. But the divinity should not be just as a mundane sort of a thing. All right, yes, mother's photograph is there. Namaste. Alright, namaste. Good morning, mother. That's not good. You have to know your mother and you have to love your mother. That is what it is. It's very embarrassing to say that you must love me. But as a mother in this lifetime, I have done many embarrassing things, and one of them is this. But I don't know how to tell the truth. But this is the fact. So you need not go through any emergencies or any such problems. You just develop yourself in such a way that you are so developed that it just acts and works out. So I'll give you a example of that. It works the least in India, surprisingly, where I work the most. Least in India. I'll give a simple example now. You see, you are coming to India. It was decided I don't know how many months back. I've been to India once. And now I'm going second time. And England is the only place where you have to pay the money direct. People have not yet paid. But Australians have done it. Australians who are 80, 85 people have done it. But English have not done it. Everything they are doing. But when it comes to ego, they are the first. Their flags are the first. In ego, where is it generated? In England. So when it comes to doing something, they are the slowest. When it comes to criticism, they are the highest. And then when it comes to the ego, suddenly you see, give them any position. It's negative. Why? Again, you can explain. Because there is a cause. We say it is inertia. Blame someone, or it's a mood, or it's my ego, or my superego. It's not mine. Myself, I'm alright. Some cause. Why you have not paid so far? It's such a problem. I have to go now. If you were not coming, you should not have come. But if you are paid, you will pay for it. Now what's the matter with you? They started with 50 people, now we ended up with 35. We have arranged for it, we have ordered for things, and we have got the buses and all that. Now we have this. Nobody asked you to come. On the contrary, I was saying keep it low, so that we make it nice. But you cannot have less than 350, or you can have 300, you can have 200, but you cannot just have 210. Where to put them? A simple thing. See on the mundane style. But in other places, what they have done? Alright, you have to go, whatever you got done. It's worked out. Everybody has got money, everything done, it's all good. Americans have done it, surprisingly, but English, they don't know whether they are going or not. Still, there are some who are coming, has to run up and down for all of you. I tell you, he is the one who has such patience. And I was amazed that there are still 11 people who have not paid. Can you believe? I mean, it's such a simple thing. If you don't want to go, don't go. If you want to go, you go. Tell him you are not going or you are going. Finish. I mean, nobody wants you there. But even this little thing you cannot, because you have a kind of a cause to Because this has happened, because that has happened, because. So the English have to come up much more, because I have really worked for these people very, very hard, and again God has made me work again 5 years more with you. I don't know what we are going to do. Sometimes I feel I should not do that, because no use. This is a small example, very small example. It's very mundane there. You can see in other places also, like that. You tell them anything, but why, brother, it happens like that? Why do I do like this? I mean, asking me a question, asking me the cause. Why did I behave like this? Why do I get into trouble? Well, I've known people who have been coming to Sahajayoga, doing Sahajayoga and all that, but then they go to some other Steiner's place, and they go to some other courses. I mean, they have no faith in Sahajayoga. They are practicing this, they are practicing that like mad. Still going on. That's only possible in India, I think. Nowhere. It's a speciality. I have known of so many people who came to Sahajayoga without practicing Sahajayoga, curing, helping them with Sahajayoga, working it out. They are in Sahajayoga. They are going to this place, that place, that. Is this the way? Now, I have known also people who try to blame the leadership. I'm telling you all these things because I was very sick when I came here, really, I tell you. I was sick for 8 days, and I was sick even afterwards, because you are all in my body. I suffer, so I must tell you. And then they said the leadership is no good, leader should be very strong, and leader should be this, and the leader must have a big pain in the hand, and they said, it hits us, we are not going to do that. Again the cause. I tell you, you have one of the best leaders in government. I must tell you. He's the man who spent a lot of money without telling me. He's covered many expenses. His office has worked for him. He took all nonsensical people. If I told him this fellow is getting some million, he'll employ in his office. If I say this fellow has got goods, he'll employ in his office. He has worked with such goods that I could not manage them even for a day. He tries his level best to go to people and tell them that, see now, come. He has said so many. By his sense, by his understanding this. But the only thing is, he openly doesn't do it. That's his mistake. He should openly tell, you are a boot and get cured. Then he's the honor. But he should say, come here. You see, you have a boot. Doesn't matter. I've got lemons for you, chilies. You sit down. Then, mother, he was identifying himself with the greatest boot. Let us face it. If you have understanding of your leader, then you should know that I know better than you know about it. And this is very saddening sometimes. Why don't you understand the sheer goodness of the person? The amount of goods he has tolerated in office, I tell you, I can't stand them for more than 1 day, some of them. So egoistical, some of them, of their heads. And some of them are so brutish that even if they come downstairs, I get a pain in the stomach, in my house. But he stood there. Why? What was the need? Just that thought he had. Whenever I told him that this person is a British, I find him employed by Mr. Kavi. Wow. Then one day I had to tell him, sack all of them. And they were sacked. Why do we have the maximum number of booths in India? I can't understand. Is it necessary to have them around? On the day when I am going, I should not tell you these things. But when I go away, I find these booths come back. And they become the causes and the effects are shown. So I have to make a complete open picture to you to see that you can ascend to the highest of highest, being born on this great land of this country. But you can also go very down and see. Because you always blame something. Last of all, giving. This is the worst thing that you have done. Let anybody say that to Gregor, he'll chop that person off 10 times and bring that person in chopped stages. Really, I tell you. He will say, what nonsense, all right, go ahead. You tell this to Warren, I don't know what he will do with all his Australian guys. They're all gems, no doubt. But you deserve a man like Ravi. I thought, we are special people, that I've worked for you so much. I'm amazed. Decent people don't need such leaders, do you? But the people who are decent now turn out to be Australians, surprisingly, the way they behave towards things. So sweet they are, you'll be surprised. The children, he bought some cups and saucers for me because when I go there, they thought they'll give me tea, cups and saucers. So we bought for all the centers one cup and saucer. So the children, little children, they collected money. After all, mother will have a cake, also must have a plate. So they sent a check. Just see how sweet. But I never eat cakes, you know that, but still. So sweet. The children, Ashley says. What is the reason? Why? Do we dominate or get dominated? Why? Again, the cause. Go beyond the cause. I bless you again and again that when I come next time, see that you don't make any mistakes anymore. Meditate and meditate and meditate. And when you come to India, some of you, I would like to show them as my prize things. For where I've worked, even where I've not been. You see, somebody else has given realization to someone in Nepal, you see. And they are wonderful flowers, and here I am. Something wrong with me. Where I have worked, people are more worried about the causes. I have to really make a very straightforward appeal to you that now grow within yourself. Are you magnanimous? Are you generous? Are you systematic? Are you impressive? Are you kind? Are you collective? Are you attached to all these nonsensical things still? Do you talk big? Do you give big lectures? Humble down yourself. And then you will see your greatness. Unless until you put your head down to your heart, how do you see your mother? I wish you all great luck now and happy Christmas to you and happy New Year and a very great New Year in spiritual world. Let's show it. Let all of us decide it. Forget about your wives and husbands and children and this and that nonsense now. You are yogis. You're united with divine, growing, prospering. May God bless you.
जय श्री माता जी। कृपया ध्यान की स्थिति बनाए रखें। जय श्री माता जी। अपना चित्त सहस्रार पे रख के प्रार्थना अर्पित करते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आज का ध्यान हम सब आपके श्री चरणों पर समर्पित करते हैं। श्री माता जी, आपने हमें आत्म साक्षात्कार दिया, परम चैतन्य से आशीर्वादित किया, हमारा चित्त सहस्रार में स्थित किया। इन सब के लिए हम हृदय से आपके ऋणी है, आभारी है। श्री माता जी, आपकी कृपा में हम हमारा अहंकार और प्रति अहंकार आपके श्री चरणों में समर्पित करते हैं। श्री माता जी, आप ही कर्ता, कर्विता और भोक्ता है, हम तो केवल निमित्त मात्र है। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर आप हमारे अंदर आध्यात्मिक परिवर्तन घटित कीजिए, हमें स्वयं की पहचान दीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर आप हमें निर्विकल्प स्थिति प्रदान कीजिए, हमारा उत्थान निर्विकल्प स्थिति में कीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर आप हमें विश्व निर्मल धर्म में प्रस्थापित कीजिए। श्री माता जी, हमारे सारे प्रार्थनाओं को स्वीकार कीजिए और हमें आशीर्वादित करने की कृपा कीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपके श्री चरणों पर हमारा कोटि कोटि नमन, कोटि कोटि नमन, अनंत कोटि नमन। जय श्री माता जी। सामूहिक बंधन लेते हैं। आज का ध्यान सत्र यहीं पे संपन्न होता है। जय श्री माता जी।